And just like that, we have like 130 science books, absolutely insane. Just look at the amount of research that we have queued. What's up guys, Perserva Games here, back at it again with Kenshi. Kenshi is a survival sandbox game that I made a few episodes on in the past. However, those saves before were corrupted. So today, we are looking at a new series and embark on our adventures in the ruthless world of Kenshi. The type of setup that we're going to go for today is the ultra hard settings that we all know and love. That means 4 times death rate, lots more animals, and massive roaming squads of people that just want to kill you. The Wanderer start is what we're going to go for, so I think we should just go ahead and get right into it. Alright, and we have our character here. His name is going to be Psycho, and he's of the Shadowlander race. The benefits of playing this race is that they have a lower bleed rate, so whenever they get hit, it's about 0.1% less than the normal character. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a difference. They also have a better heal rate of 0.1, so it heals a lot faster when you apply first aid. They also have great stat modifiers with a 20% increase to stealth, athletics, dodge, and even smithing. And they can eat raw food, which is perfect for the survival type of style that we're going to do today. Okay, so we have arrived in Okran's Gulf in the middle of the Holy Nation territory. It looks like this is our spawn. Unfortunately, it seems like I have 2 extra companions with me for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and remove these people from our party, as it would make the overall game easier to have 2 extra companions that have decent armor and good stats. It's not what we're looking for here. We're trying to make this not as hard as possible, but at least difficult, and I feel like this would make the game overall easier if they were still in our party. I'm going to remove them. I'm going to go out and get in currency any way I can, probably mining copper, anything of that sort, and then pick up our own companions from there. Alright, so I'm deleting them from the party at the moment. I went ahead and sold their gear over to the merchant right next to me and picked up a few things from their starting equipment. I got a shoddy crossbow. It's not really that good, but in a hard difficulty like this with that 4 times death rate and the increased damage, a crossbow is nasty in this game mode. It hits around like 400 damage, so it's almost an instant kill anywhere you hit someone. It's nuts. So here's an overall look at our stats. Being that we're playing a Shadowlander, we have an increased learner ratio of stealth, dexterity, armor crafting, weapon crafting, everything of that sort by 1.2. There is a downside though. There's a negative 20% penalty to learning strength, which is essential for later in the long run, but we can get over it as we continue our training. I believe what will be best is to start leveling stealth. Stealth allows us to steal items, which can be very lucrative in the long run, and also makes an efficient way to survive and keep things going for our party. It shouldn't take long to level it up to a decent amount to get us started, I would say. I'd say a decent amount is somewhere along, probably like level 20 stealth would be perfect. It allows us to get into buildings, steal items with lockpicking, and go on to get a bunch of research, a bunch of equipment, a bunch of food to keep our party up and going. Let's take a look at our starting equipment. We have an armored hood, which is okay for environmental effects. But the good news is we do come loaded with Assassin's Rags right here. This gives a nice 1.20 multiplier to dexterity, stealth, crossbows, attack speed, assassination, and good martial arts protection. I mean, if you just look at the stats modifiers on the equipment, it's absolutely insane. It's a great way to start out. The rest of our equipment is pretty subpar, but I would say we're pretty lucky to have this at the beginning. Otherwise, I would have bought them in the future regardless, because they go very well with the character that we're playing. So I was just minding my own business outside of town when suddenly I got attacked by this random pack of dogs. So I wanted to give you an idea how insane the crossbow damage is in this game when you go with 4 times death rate and 2.5 damage. Take a look at this right here. So he's aggroing me, I'm going to shoot him right in the face, and I bet you it'll kill him instantly. And yep, there we go. Instantly dead. Look at that damage right there. 324 to the face. No matter what armor you have, unless you're wearing like 80% resistance, crossbows are insane in this game mode. And there's a reason why I stay away from the United Cities. A lot of the times, people will just randomly shoot you with a crossbow. And you gotta keep in mind, the crossbow that I have is just shoddy. It's not even decent. So you can imagine if they're trying to shoot someone outside of the town and you're in the middle of that target and the town, you're most likely going to get hit and just instantly killed. So be very careful. So I went and purchased some building supplies real quick from the inside of town in the shopkeep. And what we're going to do is go ahead and just build a little small campsite right here to live outside and just be a hobo outside this town. Hopefully they won't mind too much. We're just going to be chilling out here with a campfire, trying to cook some food that I got from killing some animals. And once we have the money, we'll go ahead and purchase a house, but we'll see what we can do from there. I think it would be best if we look for some copper. Oh, there's actually some right next to us. Awesome. Let me see the quality of it real quick. It's right here. Let me turn. It is 80%. Wow. That is really good for Holy Nation territory. Copper sells for so much money early on in the game. I just picked up our first companion for 6,000, and it's kind of a steep price for the stats that comes with the individual. But most likely what I'm going to do is just make the character a pack mule, and she's going to go and mine copper for me. And if she dies, she dies. I don't really care. I'm just looking to get a return on investment by making her mine copper and keeping me out of harm's way as the main character. Once I get a return of investment, I'll look into expanding our companionship a little more and potentially getting a second companion or a third companion or maybe like a pack mule. But the primary goal for the moment would be to secure funding. And I think the best way to do that will be making this individual mine copper, and they'll be able to get a quick ROI on that 6,000 cats that we spent. Alright, so we went ahead and mined our entire inventory full of copper. I'm going to go try and sell it off to see how much we get for it. It should be around 18,000, being that we have the trading backpack and all of our stacks are full in it. But her over encumbrance is massive right now, so I'm going to grab her and pick her up once I go and just bring her over to the bar to see how much we get. I think what we're going to do is use the money that we get here to purchase a household and most likely another companion to have them be like a researcher that would be able to go through the technologies while we're doing mining. I think that would be a good investment of income at the moment just to get the things up and rolling in terms of our technology. So let's sell all these off real quick and just see how much we get. It's probably going to be quite a bit. Yeah, we're already up to 10k more. Yep, it's about 18,000, yeah. That's really good. I think that's a good starting point to where we're going to get our income going. Let me just go over here to the bar and we'll see if there's any other companions. We picked up another companion named Burned. I purchased some books and building supplies in order to get the research up and going. I'm going to go ahead and start researching all kinds of different things just to see if we can get technologies up and going and everything in terms of our infrastructure beginning to, I guess you could say, mold up here, beginning to form. So let's try and see if we can get industry researched, let's see if we can get smithing researched, and just get basic weapon grades and see where we can go from there. We've about used up all of our science books. We have item storage, wind generator theory, cooking, clothing manufacturer, hats and headgear, and everything in the sort to kind of get everything up and running, I would say. If we were going to go out and build a base, it would probably be a good time to do it, but I don't think we're going to go for it at the moment. It's a little bit risky. So make sure you get our stats up and everything before we start doing things like that. Went ahead and got a few more rounds of copper. We're going to sell this all off. We should have about 32,000 overall with our cats. We have quite the income coming up here. The 31,606 overall, yeah, we have a bit of money. I'm probably going to buy some equipment or look into moving over to Oakland's Gulf, closer to the capital, Blister Hill, just to see if we can get a better place to stay at, because the small shack right here isn't really cutting it, and there's not really any other places that we could purchase here in this town. There's no other options besides small shacks here, and I feel like Blister Hill would be great for the type of money that we're going to go for, so I'm going to go ahead and disassemble all of our stuff, and we're going to focus on moving over to the other town. I purchased a pack mule from one of the Holy Farms on the way to Blister Hill, which is the capital of the Holy Empire. It was about 12,000 or so for the backpack and the bull itself. There's a lot of massive storage space you get from it, so I believe it's a good purchase for us, and it will probably last us quite a while. So we finally arrived, and there's this massive battle going on between the guards and some of the river raptors, which are a non-hostile, I guess you could say, animal creature that eats your crops, and the Holy Empire really doesn't like them because they have no food if they eat your crops, so they just massacre them like this. We're going to pick up the leather real quick from their bodies, and the leather will be able to be sold for a high commodity. Most likely what we will do is use this leather to craft armor and then sell that armor once we get a better crafting experience to it. Seems like we were able to scavenge quite a bit of leather from it. Whenever the Holy Empire attacks these river raptors, I'm just going to go out and loot all of their corpses to get all the leather that I can. That way we can use it later on. Definitely when we get our place, I'm going to get a leather working going from that area and sell armor off from there. I'm mining this copper resource in order to get a bit more income for our group here so that we can purchase the bug house inside of town. The bug house is incredibly spacious, but it's also incredibly costly. I believe it's 20,000 for the entire house. And the bug house is now ours. As you can see, it is quite spacious. We have a nice open area down on the bottom floor, and if you go up here on the top, there's even more building space up on the top. So we can place like a level 2 research bench and a lot of other stuff in terms of like leather crafting and a level 3 research bench and everything like that in order to get all of the research that we would need to get our base up and started way before we even move out into the wilderness. Gonna head back over to the original town that we were at, since there's a copper node there that's fairly secure, being that's right next to the town, and it's a lot more money. I'm just gonna ignore whatever is going on right here. Seems river raptors are taking out a patrol of Holy Nation, but ignore that. We'll come back to that later, gather all the leather from all the ones that were killed. Anyways, so I'm gonna go grab this copper from the other place that we originally started at and see if we can get some income going there, because the iron was not providing much income at all. It was only selling for like 80 cats compared to the 220 from each copper node, and the quality of the copper was a lot lower than the quality of the copper over here at this other town in Blister Hill, which in general just means less money for us overall. Alright, let's do some copper mining. We can see if we can get some more money from this. Well, while we were mining, there was a random dog that just came out of nowhere and decided to one-hit our bull, so I guess that was pretty much it for our bull here. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can just pick up their copper and the leather that's left, and potentially the meat and leather from the bull himself, and sell it off or cook it so that we can survive. We went ahead and sold off all of the copper, might as well sell off the leather too while we're at it. We're currently sitting at like 42,000 cats, and I'm also going to start training Psycho and lockpicking so that he can get better training to break into places and be able to steal later on in the future. Since we have the money, we might as well go ahead and start looking to get another bull to carry around with us. We'll go buy one from the Holy Farm in just a few minutes. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and just train Psycho into lockpicking so that we can use his stealth to our advantage and be able to steal items by lockpicking doors later on in the night. Alright, and we did get our pack bull back, so now we have a beast of burden to carry on with us and be able to carry our cargo, everything that such. Once again, it was 12,000, so it was a little bit expensive, but it was worth it. I'm just going to grab the bull backpack and just make sure we put it on him because it gives him a lot more storage space. We've arrived back in town. I'm going to go ahead and build up this level 2 research bench, and we have a bunch of technology books that we can get started with research from. I think what we're going to do here is try and build a leather armor crafting station, just so we can get something building up and income coming in, instead of having to go out and mine, which can be kind of dangerous in this area. Purchased a few research books here to boost our research. Let's get a little bit of technology going. Eventually we're going to try and go for hydroponics so that we can build crops inside of the house here. And that's probably what we're going to head for directly, alongside the leather crafting. Now for the fun part, I went ahead and broke into the construction trader here, and I'm going to try and steal some iron plates. One of the best ways to level thievery is just to pause the game and keep selecting the item that you're looking to steal over and over and over again, and you'll get caught stealing every time. However, whenever you don't get caught stealing and you actually successfully go through with it, you'll level up your thievery. And the best part is, once you're done and you got your thievery to a level that you want, you can just unpause the game, and a lot of the times you can sneak right out before the guy wakes up and catches you. Keep in mind that once you steal, the shopkeepers will no longer trade with you, so that could be a problem in the future. So we can tell from our haul that the best way to get books is to steal. And it's great because you can just continue stealing regardless of you getting caught. It raises your thievery level and you get free research. So statistically it's not that high that I'll get caught, but if I keep spamming these library books, eventually, one of them is going to catch me, or two of them. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab as many as I can, and there you go, caught stealing. So we're going to go ahead and open it up again, no problem at all. We're just going to keep clicking these science books, got caught stealing again, no problem, hit that loot button again, and keep on doing it until you have the equipment or whatever you were stealing, and your thievery goes up with it. So we're going to go ahead and grab all of these research books and go ahead and bring them over to our tech center so that we can get more research done. And just like that, we have like 130 science books, absolutely insane. Just look at the amount of research that we have queued. Alright, and we are now researching a lot of equipment and technology in order to get everything up and running with our new society here. This is now be the end of the video for today. If you do like the content, be sure to like and subscribe. It would really appreciate it and helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you, and I hope you tune in for the next one.